As humans have rescued animals' lives on different occasions, so have many animals too. In this video, you will see different occasions where animals, dogs especially, saved humans from dangers in near-death experiences. Number 10. Lions rescued a kidnapped girl. Did you hear about the time when a 12-year-old girl got kidnapped by some men? She was walking home from school through a narrow path when the men grabbed her. They took her into a deep forest, maybe to do something bad to her or to ask her parents for money. But then a group of lions showed up and scared the kidnappers away. What happened next was surprising. Instead of hurting the girl, the lions surrounded her without hurting her. The police came to rescue her the next day after the lions left. People were puzzled about why the usually dangerous lions acted like protectors. Experts think it might be because the way the girl cried made the lions think she was like one of their babies, so they wanted to take care of her. Number 9. Gorilla rescues boy. Gorillas, often recognized for their strength and toughness, can also display remarkable kindness, as evidenced by a heartwarming incident at Brickfield Zoo in Illinois. Think about a 3-year-old boy who accidentally tumbled into a gorilla pen, a potentially perilous situation. Gorillas are powerful enough to harm even fully grown adults in a matter of minutes, so the risk to a child was alarming. Surprisingly, instead of harm, a motherly gorilla astonished onlookers by gently picking up the frightened child and handing him over to the rescue team. It was a moment that defied expectations. Despite the initial fear and concern, the child suffered minimal injuries from the fall, and the gorilla returned to attend to her own baby, exemplifying a compassionate side that many might not associate with these majestic creatures. Number 8. Lulu saves Joanne. Lulu, the lovely black pig, found an unexpected home as a birthday gift. At first, the woman who received Lulu wasn't thrilled about having a pig as a present. Not many folks would be, but the woman's mother stepped in and welcomed Lulu with open arms. Over time, they became close companions, living together as friends. One day, fate intervened in a remarkable way. Joanne, the woman who initially rejected Lulu, suffered a sudden heart attack while alone at home. In that critical moment, Lulu transformed from just a pet into a lifesaver. With no one else around, Lulu sprang into action. She somehow managed to unlatch the door, ventured onto the road, and caught the attention of passing vehicles. Despite her valiant efforts, people misunderstood Lulu's behavior. Undeterred, she persisted until a kind-hearted man decided to investigate. To his surprise, he discovered Joanne in a dire state, fighting for her life. Realizing the gravity of the situation, he promptly dialed 911, leading to the swift arrival of medical assistance. Number 7. A whale saved a snorkeler from a shark. Swimming in waters infested with sharks is a well-known danger, but that doesn't deter adventurous snorkelers like Nan Hauser. Nan, who had been snorkeling for over 28 years, often explored the sea without expecting anything out of the ordinary. One day, her underwater escapade took a surprising turn. As she delved into the depths, she encountered a whale exhibiting unusual behavior, attempting to shield her with its fin, much like a protective mother. Initially perplexed by the whale's actions, Nan took a few seconds to assess her surroundings. To her astonishment, a lurking shark was just a short distance away, waiting for an opportune moment to strike. Realizing the imminent danger, Nan quickly comprehended the message behind the whale's protective gestures. In a swift response, she exited the shark's territory, escaping potential harm. The whale, acting as her adopted guardian, likely thwarted any plans the shark had in mind. Number 6. Horse saves a farmer from a cow attack. Cows can be really dangerous when they get upset. It's not just their horns that can be a problem, but they can also step on people with their hooves. Just imagine a big, angry cow weighing a lot, pushing you around. That would be really bad. Surprisingly, even though cows don't eat humans, they manage to cause more deaths each year than sharks do. One time, there was a cow who thought Farmer Boyd was trying to harm her baby, but he was actually trying to help. This misunderstanding led to a scary attack that almost killed the farmer. Luckily, Boyd's horse, Carrie, came to the rescue. The horse fought off the cow, and it ran away. Boyd was left on the ground with sore shoulders. It makes you think, what if Boyd couldn't call for help? What if the horse wasn't there that day? The situation could have turned out completely differently. And it's a reminder, of how unpredictable and risky dealing with upset cows can be. Number 5. Rabbit saves man. When thinking about animals that could potentially save a person's life, a rabbit might not be the first creature that comes to mind. However, this doesn't imply that rabbits lack intelligence. Quite the opposite. They are surprisingly intelligent beings. Despite their small size, it's easy to underestimate their capabilities when it comes to performing life-saving actions. Until recently, there had been no documented instances of rabbits actively engaging in such heroic behavior. A remarkable incident occurred in the UK involving Simon Stegall, who fell into a diabetic coma. Unaware of her husband's condition, Simon's wife initially assumed he had simply dozed off during a less-than-thrilling moment on television. To her surprise, the family rabbit sensed something was amiss. Acting swiftly, the rabbit leaped onto Simon's chest and began emphatically stomping. It wasn't until the persistent actions of the rabbit caught her attention that Simon's wife realized the severity of the situation, prompting her to call for urgent medical assistance. Number 4. Dolphins save lifeguard's life from a white shark. Dolphins really like people, and we think people like them too. One big reason we like dolphins is because they're super smart and they're also friendly to humans. Let me tell you a cool story that makes us love dolphins even more. Once, off the coast of New Zealand, a lifeguard named Rob Howes was swimming with 3 other lifeguards and his little daughter. They didn't know that something dangerous was nearby. Out of nowhere, some dolphins showed up and circled around them, splashing their tails and fins in the water. Everyone was confused, trying to figure out what the dolphins were up to. Then, Rob saw a white shark approaching. The dolphins created chaos, confusing the shark, and it ended up jumping over them. Luckily, a rescue boat came just in time to help. Number 3. Pearly the parrot saves his family from fire. In high school literature, we often hear about similes, comparing things using like or as. A common example is saying someone talks like a parrot, but sometimes parrots do more than just talk. They can take action. Here's a story about a parrot named Pearly, who saved a whole family from a dangerous fire. One early morning at around 4 a.m., Lara Jean and her fiancé were startled awake by Pearly's persistent sounds. It was unusual for Pearly to be chattering so early, especially when there was no one around to talk to. But Pearly wasn't just talking. The parrot was playing a different role. In this case, Pearly was alerting them to a fire that was spreading in the laundry room. Thanks to Pearly's continuous calls, Lara Jean and her fiancé were able to wake up in time and investigate the source of the noise. They discovered the imminent danger of the fire, and if it weren't for Pearly's timely warning, they might not have been able to call the fire department in time. Number 2. Pitbull saves family from fire. Some places have banned pit bulls because people think they can be mean. But not all pit bulls are bad. Take Sasha, for example. One night, Shay and her family were sleeping when their house caught fire. Luckily, Sasha was awake and started barking like crazy to wake everyone up. Before Shay even knew what was happening, Sasha had already grabbed one of the kids and got them out of bed. When Shay finally woke up and saw the fire, she called the firefighters right away. If Sasha hadn't been there, things could have been much worse. This isn't the first time Sasha saved them either. She did it once before when there was another fire. So, even though pit bulls might have a bad reputation, Sasha showed that they can be heroes too. It's important not to judge all pit bulls based on what some of them do because each dog is different. Number 1. Sea lion saves a man who jumps off the Golden Gate Bridge. In today's complex world, numerous conflicting activities pose a threat to our mental well-being, emphasizing the crucial importance of taking mental health seriously. A poignant example of this comes from Kevin Hines, who, at the age of 19, found himself overwhelmed by despair and decided to end his life by jumping off the Golden Gate Bridge. Miraculously, a sea lion intervened, rescuing him and bringing him to shore, despite the injuries Kevin sustained during the fall. Upon regaining consciousness, Kevin was astonished to discover that it was a benevolent sea lion that had saved him, an experience that profoundly impacted his life. Now, a passionate advocate for suicide awareness, Kevin shares his story globally, highlighting the significance of mental health and the unexpected sources of support that can emerge in our lives. Have you ever encountered a moment where an animal became your guardian angel? Share your experiences in the comments below, and let's celebrate the positive impact animals can have on our lives. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more uplifting stories like this one.